Welcome to the Bearded Respect, number 164. Woo.
What's up, everyone? I had Scott nervous for a couple minutes.
Well, you come in at the last second? Yeah. Oh. And Jason will be joining us in a little bit.
Yes, he's going to be later than me.
Like 20 minutes.
But I can start welcoming everyone in.
Well, that'd be great.
The first one I see is Jack Stud. Thanks for stopping in. And we got John Fox. Foxy. What's up? Phil, bearding on a budget. Thanks for stopping in. Jeffrey, what's up? If you're doing noises, we're not hearing them.
Of course not.
Santa Tom, good evening. Thanks for stopping in. Baker, what's up? And we've got Joe and Dakota with Kilt Beard Co. They were just on the Tres Amigos earlier.
Did you hear that?
What's that?
Did you hear that?
No. Did not. James Hanson, good evening. Thanks for stopping in. In the chat, let us know if you can hear these noises.
No way.
Oh, there we go. Just heard that one.
Yeah, I didn't have Jason. He normally checks the sounds for me.
Oh, yeah. Flaming Beard, thanks for stopping in.
Hello.
How's it going, Kay?
Hello.
David the Pud Rhodes. Good evening.
Welcome.
Thanks for stopping in.
Hello.
What's up, Brad? My neighbor over in Nebraska.
How you doing, Brad?
Babysitter Jess has the night off from babysitting. Good evening.
Hello there, children.
Ryan T. Hello.
Hello, neighbor.
Thanks for stopping in. Ray Smokey, 20 Spray Ray. What's up?
Ray?
Hello, neighbor.
Guns and Beards. Guns and Beards. What's up?
Welcome.
Thanks for stopping in.
Say hello to my little friend.
Christina Alaro. Hello.
Hello.
Excellent.
Frickin' Frack. Good evening. I'm so used to saying good morning because on my show it's always, it's in the morning. So I have to stop myself. I haven't said it yet, but what's up, E? Hola.
How you doing, E?
Randy R. What's up, Randy? Thanks for stopping in.
Got him.
There's Becky, Miss Bruce City.
How you doing, honey?
Hello, Becky.
Garrett, what's up? Thanks for coming in.
For joining us.
Haley.
Hey, brother.
Thanks for stopping in. 30 Spray J, the Nothing King, has graced us with his presence. What's up, Jay?
King, huh?
Shout out to Melissa. She knows on YouTube. Yep. Sorry, Melissa. I couldn't stop in tonight.
Yeah.
I literally just got off work.
She does a great show and normally is shouting us out during the show. So
Melissa's
we
awesome.
appreciate that.
Melissa and Garrett are both awesome people.
Yes.
We need to get them back on our show sometime. Born Bearded. What's up? Thanks for stopping in.
Hello.
Ronnie.
Hello.
Hello.
And there's Raven. Mr. Raven, what's up?
Hello.
He's making snow angels in his yard. Mom. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate you.
I don't have friends. I got family.
I bet she's wearing her Bearded Respect sweatshirt.
Yeah.
Mark Johnson, what's up?
How you doing, Mark?
Mark, put your clothes on. My mom's watching.
You can see Mark?
No, but he doesn't wear clothes when he watches these live streams. That's what he told me. I'll never forget it. True North Beard Co. Chris, what's up?
How you doing, Chris?
Bearded Votto.
Children?
Thanks for stopping in, Votto. Good to see you.
Vato.
No way.
There's Amber finishing her shower.
It wouldn't be a show if Brother Amber wasn't finishing a shower.
True, very true. There's Melissa.
Hello.
I think I might have hit
Sure.
everyone already. Let's see. Robert Allen. Good evening. Thanks for stopping in.
Hello there, children.
There's Tyler Dynamite. What is up?
Dynamite. Thanks for joining us.
Yes.
Excellent.
John and his chicken.
Hey, John.
I think he has more than one chicken, though, from what I heard.
Probably.
Hello.
And does the chicken watch this show? That's what I want to know. There's Jacob. I got to show something real quick that I just received in the mail this week. Can you make my screen bigger? Because this thing is big.
Yeah. Wait, here.
Look at that. Look how big it is. Like, I have to scoot back here.
Was that supposed to put your whole coffee maker on?
This is a coffee mat.
That's what I thought.
This is a custom-made coffee mat that Jacob made to my dimensions that I gave him. But look at that. Coffee. Oops. It's got my logo on there. Coffee with brewer. And there's my logo. And on top of the width is the Army seal. That was a little surprise that he added. But this thing is thick. Look at that.
Yeah.
How thick that is.
Wow.
This is amazing. I love this so much.
Yeah, that thing is
Very cool.
Yes.
Very appreciative. I actually won this. I can't remember what it was, like a charity auction win back in June of last year.
Wow.
And but I've got it now and I had to show it off.
Oh, of course. That's worthy of showing off. That's a lot of leather.
Yeah, it is beautiful. The craftsmanship is amazing. It's so nice.
Wow.
I'll show more of it Saturday. Better lighting on my show. All right, where was I?
Very
And yeah, I love it. I love it. Joshua Andrews, thanks for stopping in. Welcome.
Hello.
There's the chief. Good evening.
Thanks for joining us.
I must be getting to the end soon here. John has 20 chickens.
Whew. Seems like a lot.
Jeff says got his Irish eyes smiling today. Yeah, it's a really good smell. It's really nice. Ray could probably sleep on it. You might be able to. Yeah, I think I'm caught up. We got James Murray right at the end here. Welcome, James. Thanks for stopping in.
And Becky said she's going to remind me to set my alarm for Saturday.
Oh. Yeah. All right. So Jason's going to be joining us eventually.
Yes,
I think.
pretty soon. I don't think we have any other announcements.
No.
So why don't we bring our guest on?
Yeah, let's do that.
Your side.
What's up, bearded hunk?
Hi. I'm not sure why it switched. It's still sitting on its side. That was weird.
Yeah.
How's it going, guys?
Great. Welcome to the Bearded Respect.
Yeah,
thanks for having me.
coming on. I'm Mike. I didn't get a chance to meet you in the green room before, but thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, of course.
And
we appreciate it, and we know your company was recommended by a few of our watchers, so
absolutely,
sure they appreciate it as well.
yeah, and we appreciate it too.
Definitely. Yeah. Mike, you want to jump into 5 questions right away?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do it. All right, bearded hunk. We have one question that's the same every week. Tell us your favorite toy as a child. What was that one toy that you always played with?
I've been mulling this over all day, to be honest with you. It was a toss-up between a couple. Okay, so I was a big action figure kid. I loved collecting Star Wars action figures. Phantom Menace is what came out when I was little. And so I was trying to collect all of the figures that came out during that time. And then the other ones were there was these old action figures called Cores. And they were like rip-off G.I. Joes, but they were like only 4 inches big. And they were fully articulated. You could move them any which way, and I had so many of them.
All right.
So I think it's a toss-up between those, because I had a lot of those, and then if it wasn't those, it'd be Legos. I played with a lot of toys.
Yeah.
I love my toys.
Sounds pretty cool. I don't think we've had Cores on the list before.
No, I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a niche thing or what, but I mean, it was a total rip-off of G.I. Joe, and I don't know how it lasted as long as it did, but I loved them.
Nice. So yeah, I was in a different generation, but mine was Star Wars, but it was like the first Star Wars before the Phantom Menace, and G.I. Joes, of course. And they often went to war together or against each other.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of multiverse kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a couple of the like vintage Star Wars from like New Hope. I know I still have a Han Solo and a Luke Skywalker, and then I think a Darth Vader from when those were released.
Yeah,
I actually found them in an old comic store in Des Moines.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. I was like, man, you never see this stuff anymore, so I picked them up.
No, and they're so durable too.
Yep.
Like the ones that I had 40 years ago, like I could still play with them, and they wouldn't break.
Yeah, I gave them to my son. He plays with them now.
Yeah, my kids played with that. Yeah, with mine. Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm down to just Chewbacca. That's I think the only one I have left.
Yeah, we have a Chewbacca as well. My 1-year-old likes to chew on his head, which is funny, and so it's just become her Chewy.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah. All right. So tell us about your company. Name, when it started, how it started, for those that don't know about you.
Yeah. So I guess to give it context, we have to go back. So we officially opened the Acreage LLC in, I'm trying to think here, May, what was last year? 2024. So we would have opened let's see, I want to say it was May 1st of last year. But the acreage, like the idea of the acreage, has been around for a lot longer. I come from a family of entrepreneurs, and uh, my wife, she had her own business at 16. My dad has had his own business now for 8 years, and it's kind of a conglomerate of all of those ideas. We always wanted to kind of bind all of our ideas together. I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and so we hadn't really combined everything yet. And then when I got into the beard products, it was like, okay, I think I know what I can contribute to this. And so once I came up with what I was going to contribute, then the acreage happened. And so it's kind of a conglomerate of my dad's work, my wife's work, who's been doing this now since she was 16. So my goodness, 16, 17 years. And then now the beard products. And so that's why you'll see on the website, it's not just beard products. I mean, we have apparel, merchandise, home decor, and then beard and body products. And so it's just kind of a umbrella of what our family has been building over now 2 decades. And like I said, it was something that we just always had on our mind. And in 2020 during COVID, we had a lot of time to think about it, because that's when I got laid off from my job. I worked for the city of Ankeny, and so I had gotten laid off temporarily and was working for my dad at his metal and woodworking shop. And that's kind of when we got to talking about, like, okay, what are we going to do? How can we make this our thing? Because I like to do woodworking, I like to do metalworking, but it's not like my passion. It's just something that it's like, yeah, I'll help you with it. And so it's like my heart was never fully invested in it like my dad was. And then obviously I don't sew, I don't knit or crochet or do any of the stuff my wife does. And so that was always her thing. And so basically my wife just kept saying, she's like, you're going to find something someday that you're going to enjoy doing, and you're going to make money at it. And you just got to wait and figure out what that's going to be. And thus the Acreage beard and body portion was started. And that's when it became an LLC. Our vision came together. The logo is a rough sketch of our property. It's just we wanted to just sell ourselves. We wanted our company to be, you're buying into us. You're experiencing a part of our life, and we wanted our way of living to become a part of your home. And so everything we make is stuff that we were making for ourselves, for our own personal use. And so that's just kind of where the idea came from. We wanted to bring kind of old school, kind of lost trades into kind of bring them back, I guess. And not that the beard stuff is old by any means, but just in terms of like the way I did the theme, or like the branding of the Acreage. Like if you look at our bottles, it says on the bottom on every bottle, old time feel with a modern touch. And so that was kind of, I wanted it to look vintage. I wanted to feel like something where, you could buy this off of a wagon, 100 years ago. But with the modern products that we have to work with now, with how far science has come with beard products, obviously we wanted to give it a modern spin. We wanted to come up with a new blend. We wanted to come up with scents that we have never smelled before, and try to come up with themes and names and branding that just hadn't been done before. And so that's kind of where the inspiration comes for the Acreage beard and body part of it. Is just me and my wife always joke about how we were probably born in the wrong time. We kind of have older souls.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of why we went with that vintage look. We thought about doing paper labels, but then after trying them out, we didn't really like their performance. They would
Oil
deteriorate,
breaks
they'd get
down.
wet,
Yeah.
yeah, they would
Mhm.
fade. And so I tried to make it kind of look like it's got that paper wrap in a way,
Hmm.
but it's got the UV and waterproof coating on it. And so
Yeah.
I was happy with how it turned out. I spent, oh man, so long there. We went through so many different versions of our labels, and finally I landed on that design. But yeah, everything was done pretty much by me. um,
Hmm.
uh, so I don't know if we'll get more into that later, but yeah, that's kind of the intro. That's the context of where we come from.
Yeah. I love the labeling, by the way. I love simplistic,
Yeah.
bold
Yeah.
labeling. And yeah, I do like it.
My
Um,
wife, and as far as the labels go, my wife had one stipulation. She said, "I want it to all look like it matches. I want it to
right.
look like something where if you were go to a store, you would always know which product you're
Right.
buying." So
Yeah.
that's why we went that way.
Yeah. Tell me more about the acreage. What does that mean?
So the acreage, we own an acreage. We've now lived on this property for 3.5 years. I was telling Scott beforehand, I grew up in the city my whole life. I lived in the city my whole life. I am a city boy turned country boy. Um, but I was always kind of a country boy at heart. I always wanted to be in a place like this. I wish I had grown up in a place like this. Um, but between work and our children's schools and being close to, hospitals and stuff, it was like, gosh, there's just not a good reason for us to leave yet. Um, but then COVID hit, and that obviously rocked everybody's worlds. Like I said, I was working for the city of Ankeny at the time and got laid off. And I went back to work. Then I got laid off, and when I got laid off the last time, it was like I got to start looking for something different. And we landed on a job where I was kind of in a management position for a remodeling company for a while. Um, and that's when we found this acreage. We were trying to find a place out by where my wife grew up, which is here. Um, and we basically told my in-laws, it's like, hey, if you see anything that becomes available, you know, just kind of put a bug in those people's ear, because we would definitely want to try to scoop it up. So
Hmm.
we had created this 5-year plan. We were going to save up for 5 years. We had signed a 2 or 3 year lease in our townhome. I was making pretty good money at this remodeling company, and the plan was in 5 years we're going to have enough money to fully pay off the acreage, and then we'll move, and we can be doing work on it, because it's a 100-year-old farmhouse that needed a lot of work. The previous owners had passed away like 5 years before we even bought it. Now 8 years ago, and so it was kind of becoming a dilapidated place. I mean, just overgrowth, and trees needed to be trimmed, and grass just up to your ears. And so, as usual, God had a different plan, and He decided to end my. I got laid off from my job with the remodeling
Hmm.
company after just under a year, and we were like, "Well, crap. Um, what are we doing?" So we kind of scrambled, and we had to make a quick decision, kind of on our toes, because it's like, do we keep paying for this apartment? I mean, we want to homeschool our kids. We don't want to be here anymore. We already have this house that our family has purchased that we're paying off. What do we do? And so we actually made the decision to my in-laws own a camper. We actually moved it onto the property, and we lived out of a camper for a few months while we worked on the house. And then when it got cold, we moved the camper back to the in-laws, and we actually they have a full finished basement. So we stay in the basement for the winter time because the camper was not going to work for winters here in Iowa. The remodeling took way longer than we anticipated.
Probably over budget. Right.
Yeah, surprisingly we did pretty well, but yeah, I mean it just you know how it goes. You
Right.
open up one wall and find out there's way more you have to do.
Yeah.
And we did it all ourselves. We
Wow.
didn't hire anything out, and so it was just a labor of love.
Yeah.
All winter we worked on the house. We moved in that next spring, and then we spent that whole spring and summer taking dozers and excavators to the whole place and just reworking the land. We reshaped it. Every hill, every blade of grass was removed at some point, and I mean it's a completely different place. We removed probably 40% of the overgrowth, and now it looks nice and clean. And I spent that whole summer planting grass during a 9-week drought. It was probably the worst drought we've had since I moved here, and it was the year I put in our grass, and
Jeez.
grass seed was like $6 a pound, just ridiculous because it was still in the middle of COVID. So the acreage just is really close to our hearts. This place has been like I said, a labor of love. We've poured our sweat, our blood, our tears. You know, we literally, I mean, the master bedroom, I mean, me and my wife have memories now of building that room. We fought in that room. We cried in that room. We didn't know what we were going to do in that room. And now we live here, and now we're raising our family, and
Nice.
this is where we plan to be here our whole lives. So
Forever home.
yeah, and so we wanted to build something that we could give to our kids someday, so that they can either continue the legacy or improve it, or whatever they find they want to do. But when we were coming up with a company name, we were like, gosh, just what sums up our family? And that's how we landed on the Acreage. We were trying to come up with all these different names, and I was like, hun, we always just refer to our home as the Acreage. I was like, why don't we just go with that? Why don't we just be the Acreage? And so we looked it up, saw if it was available for Iowa, and it was. We just had to tweak it a little bit. It's the Acreage, Iowa. But yeah, that's how it started. That was the inspiration. It's just something that we hold near home. Home for us is everything. Family's everything. Our home is everything. This is where we wanted our kids to grow up. We always dreamed of having our own job. I was tired of working for other people.
Yeah.
I just was sick of not seeing my kids 8 to 10 hours a day just to get unappreciated by a boss that couldn't care less if you were there or not. I mean, you were just he referred to my previous boss when I worked for Ankeny. He would refer to us seasonal workers, even though we worked 10 months out of the year. He would just refer to us as bodies. We weren't even anything. It was just, all right, take a few bodies, and I mean, we were literally just meat and numbers.
Right.
And so it wasn't it. That wasn't what I was going to do my whole life. I wanted to see my kids grow up. I wanted to spend more time with my wife. And so that's what we did. We found a way to make it happen. So now we do this full time.
Nice. A couple of people have popped in. Papa 2 Pump 1 is a big fan of you. And I
Appreciate
saw some
that.
other people here. Six String Tats. I stopped in. Welcome. And Greg Hall. Welcome.
Hey, Greg. How's it going, man?
Oh, and we also have Weatherbeard, Corey, and Big Stu.
Greg was one of our original customers. And
Oh,
actually,
okay.
Brad Glazer, Robert and Terry, and yeah, they were all some of our first customers to give us a try. So
Yeah, Brad,
Huge.
Rob, and Bob and Terry were highly recommending you and wanting you to come on the show.
Yeah, they started asking me like, gosh, like back at Christmas time, I think they were like, you know, you want to do this? And I'll be honest, I hate doing stuff on the camera. I don't like doing it. And so for the longest time, I was like, I don't know. But as usual, my wife was like, no, you need to do it. You know,
Yeah.
when the company, when the business started doing what it was doing, and it took off so much more than we had a 3-year plan uh put in place for the acreage, just kind of what our expectations and goals were.
Mhm.
And we far surpassed them.
Nice.
And so it was one of those things where it's like, gosh, we gotta kind of ride this momentum. We wanna get to know more people outside of the community that I'm familiar with. I'm not really familiar with like the Instagram beard community or Twitter. Outside of Facebook, I don't know a lot of guys,
Mhm.
and so for me, it was a good way to start meeting some more guys in the
Yeah,
beard world,
absolutely.
and get to know some of the other people out there, and because obviously the goal is to get every guy with a beard to try our products. So the only way we can do that is if we just keep networking and reaching out,
Absolutely.
and getting over my social anxiety and
That's
getting
what we
on
like to
camera.
do with this show is, try to bring on newer companies to get their name out there, for everyone to see. Do you
Yeah,
have
I appreciate that.
like a store at your home, or is it
Uh,
everything online?
Everything is currently online. We
Okay.
do allow locals, like if a local wanted to buy something, we would take it to them. The plan is to eventually have a little storefront actually here on the acreage. We actually have a cabin we're already looking at that we're saving up for, and eventually it's a pre-built cabin that literally gets driven in on a truck, and we put it on a foundation, and uh, eventually that will be the storefront where we do. Um,
Mhm.
that's where we'll do like shipping and logistics, and all finalized products would be out there, and people could stop in if they're wanting to come in and buy. Um, and then have only raw materials in the house. Our basement is underground, and it's a constant 55 degrees, and so it's a perfect place for the raw
Yeah.
ingredients and materials. It's dark, it's cold, and so I keep all the raw ingredients down there at all times. And it would be nice to have a place that we could separate ourselves from the work sometimes.
Mhm.
But yeah, right now everything, we have a room designated to our inventory, to where we ship, um, and yeah, that's everything's in
Nice.
the house right now. But the plan is to eventually have an outbuilding that we can work out of.
Have you done any shows or like markets or anything like that?
Not yet. The plan
No.
this summer. So we were actually originally trying to do farmers market
Mhm.
last summer, but we had a newborn.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah, so we decided it was not a good idea. We were already the acreage was that's literally my brother.
Hey,
Hey,
Justin.
hey, Justin. Um, uh, so we had at the time, let's see, how old would she have been? She was only 5, 6 months old when farmers market was starting, and so the store we weren't anticipating the store doing well online for the first year. We
Right.
were planning on having to do markets to get our name out there,
Yeah.
but we were having so much success online already that we were like, I don't think we really need to do this. And with Emma being as young as she is, it just, we were juggling a lot of stuff last summer, and because we
Mhm.
have a like a half-acre garden that we tend to in the summertime too, so that's a lot of work. um and so it just, we were like, if we were going to eliminate anything, it would be that.
All right. Yeah.
Because this year Emma will be able to walk. She'll be a little more independent, um, and it'll be a whole lot easier to manage with having a newborn. So that's the plan this year, is to do farmers markets.
Mhm.
And we do want to start. We have a couple local stores that we're actually going to talk to try to get our candles into. The candles are a nice thing to get into stores first because they're shelf stable. They don't really go bad, and so
Mhm.
it's just something that we can get our foot in the door. It's something that people can connect with, and we love our candles.
Mhm.
I have my beard products, but I take great pride in my wax products too. so yeah, that's kind of the plan right now, is to get into some stores locally. We have a salon and a barber shop out here that I'm going to talk to this summer and try to get a couple products into. Um, so yeah, that's the plan moving forward this year. Less releases and trying to do more outreach.
Yeah.
That's kind of the goal this year.
Yeah. Prior to developing this company, and like when you were working as a body, and what was your passion then? Like, not work, but like what was something that you kind of like were really into at that time?
So during let's see, it would have been right before COVID hit. I actually got into painting models.
Okay.
So and what's funny is that started because I used to do fitness. I used to be a big time fitness gym rat. Um, and then in 2018 I hurt my back, and I just have not been the same since. And so I kind of went through a weird depressed state where it's like, gosh, I don't know what to do with myself, because I was working out 6 days a week, 2 hours a day for a long time. And fitness was my whole world. And then to just kind of lose that whole part of my life, it was like, gosh, I don't know what to do now. So a buddy of mine introduced me to some model kits that I got into. It was really good. It was very therapeutic. I got to work with my hands, got to build stuff, got to do it in my living room. We lived in apartments at the time, so it's something I could do pretty easily just right there at home. And especially during COVID, there wasn't much to do. And so that's what I did. I just kind of built models. I actually built a following on Instagram. Uh, I had a whole channel designated to my model building and I painted models. And what's funny is my love for painting is where my love of chemistry stems from. There's a lot of chemistry involved when it comes to dealing with lacquer paints, and I found out was probably my favorite part of it, was the chemistry. Um, and so when I when we had a when we found out about our oh, did I freeze?
Yeah, you've been freezing on and off, but you're not frozen now.
Oh, okay. My brother just
It
said
seems like every time a comment goes up, you unfreeze for some reason.
Huh.
Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. Well, as long as you can hear me.
Yeah, we hear you loud and clear. Yep.
Perfect.
And you haven't made a funny face frozen yet either.
Perfect. Yeah, no screenshot material, no meme material. And so my love for chemistry, I loved chemistry in high school. I've just always been really into how elements work together.
Nice.
I just find it fascinating. I think it just shows God's creativity in his design. And so when I started toying with the idea of making my own beard products, that I spent a year just reading, studying, and just trying to understand the chemistry and just how everything worked and why it worked, and the benefits of what everything does. And so I had researched just about every carrier oil that I possibly could, and started kind of just having an idea of, okay, if I was to put one together, what would I do? And so that alone kind of became a hobby in itself. Was just, it's like, I didn't know if I was ever going to start a beer company, but I knew I wanted to play around with beard oils. There's lots of great companies out there. I tried a lot. I tried a lot of companies. But obviously for me, it's like, I love this, but it could be this. I love this, but I would have done this. And so I started noticing that I was taking different brands and I was mixing different brands together. I was starting to find what carrier oils my beard liked and what my skin liked, what scents that I was attracted to. And it just was getting to this point where it's like I would get this idea of when I was buying something from someone of what it was going to feel like and what it was going to smell like. And me being my biggest critic, I hold things to a very high standard. And so there was always just something missing. And it was like, you know what? I keep buying all these companies' scents and trying to blend what they're blend. Like I'm trying to make my own out of these. I was like, let's just start focusing that money into just making my own fragrances, making my own oils, and just start playing around with it. And so that's how it started. I told my wife I wanted to do that, and her exact words were, "You can do it, but don't let this turn into a business."
Really?
I have a tendency to get really, really into things, and they just turn into bigger things, and then I get bored and move on. But this was something that it was something that the moment I started playing with it, my wife was like, "Yeah, I think you got something good here. I think you really
Wow.
need to." I think, and she's picky. She's picky. And so I started showing people. I started teasing on Facebook. I was like, "Hey, I'm trying this new company called the Acreage. Keep a lookout for the Acreage." And everyone's like, "Oh man, I've never heard of these guys." And so for months, I was hyping up this company that didn't even exist yet, because my plan was like, "All right, I'm just gonna one of these days, I'm gonna get this locked in, and uh, I'm just gonna start selling beard oils just kind of for fun." And yeah, so the chemistry of it, I mean, I love chemistry. I've always loved fragrance. Fragrance is something that I have just been obsessed with since I was a boy. um, I think I wore my first cologne to school in first grade. um, I've always loved them. And so for me, playing with fragrances is like I mean, it literally is a dream job. It's a
Yeah.
dream job. So
Nice.
between the chemistry and just how fragrance and perfumery works, it just, I love it.
Great.
What's your personal beard routine?
Oh, let's see. I start every morning. Um, I start every morning with kids asking me a million questions, and then I feed them, and I look in the mirror and hate how disheveled my beard looks, but I have to wait because my kids need me. And then eventually I get to my bathroom, and I always start with pretty hot water. I'm kind of a renegade. I don't wash every day. I have a very coarse, wiry beard. And so I was just finding that washing daily was just drying me out like crazy. Um, and so for me, I just do hot water in the morning, and I just get my beard real, real wet and warm. And then I just pat it dry. And then I usually do oil, and then I add some of my butter, and then that gets me through the day. And then I don't do anything until nighttime, and then I kind of do the same thing. I just do hot water. Um, and at nighttime, I typically only do butter, because my oils pretty much keep me good for, I mean, I really don't need anything at the end of the day.
Right.
Unless it's like a really dry, windy day, I usually don't need to apply oil. But my butters are so light that a lot of times I just rub it into my skin, and that's enough. The stuff melts perfectly. And so I usually just end up rubbing that into my skin and into my beard, comb it, and call it good. So
Okay.
I usually I wash my beard maybe once a week. I use condition, like if I take a shower, I'll throw some conditioner in there. But other than that, I maybe use beard wash once a week, because it strips my beard so quickly. I am working on a beard wash. I'm trying to make one that works for my beard, but that's been one of my biggest challenges so far. So
Okay. Yeah, especially if you don't like to use it every day.
mhm.
You're only going to be able to
Yeah,
test it
and
like a couple times a week.
I've tried a lot of highly recommended washes, and it's not that they're
Yeah.
bad, but for my beard specifically, everything just seems to dry me out. And so I rarely use it.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's not probably as weird as you might think. We've had some guys on who wash once a month.
Well, the one guy once a year or twice a year.
Oh wow.
And his beard is huge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like how?
He goes down as a legend on our show for saying that he only washes his beard twice a year.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I was like,
Yeah, it's more often than that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll go 2 weeks and I feel gross, but like come summertime, when we're working outside, I mean it gets really dry and dusty out here, going into like harvest, and so I wash a lot more during the summertime, just because my beard and my face gets so dirty. But then I just kind of switch things up. If I find that I'm getting more dry, I'll actually switch to my Acreage blend, which has the bird oils. But most of the time, I don't need the bird oils. But every once in a while, I'll throw it in still and just get that extra conditioning. But I have a bunch of other oils that I play around with on a regular basis that I think work just as well. And so like I've been playing around with moringa and marula oil, and actually just got some of the squalene oil, and those, I mean, to me those work just as good. I mean, I think it feels almost exactly like when I use bird oils, and it's just so much lighter. So
yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah, I'm always playing around with stuff, despite having one that I love. Like I have my homestead blend and my acreage blend, but I'm still always trying to one up myself. I'm always like, today I made a blend that I actually was really, really happy with.
Yeah. So Brad asks if you're moving away from bird blend oils.
I'm going to say yes and no. We don't actually sell a lot of bird oils, which
Really?
is surprising because when I first opened, I thought that was going to be what we sold the most of. But then when I came out with my limited borage blend, that actually became the favorite. And now, I mean, maybe 10-15% of my sales are bird oils. And so it's not that I'm moving away from them completely. But I am going to probably do a revamp on the labeling where I'm gonna probably make my limited blend just my homestead blend because it's very similar other than the borage, but everybody's loved that. And then I'm just gonna put an optional request for bird oil on the page, so that if people want it, I can add it. My brother, he keeps asking me to make 100% bird oil blend.
He just wants
So
to-
I gave him a 2-ounce bottle of ostrich and emu oil. It's just straight bird oils that he keeps with him. But yeah, I'm not gonna go away from it completely because I know people would be bummed about that. But I will just probably switch to my borage blend because the shelf life is better on that. I like it better than hemp seed personally. I know a lot of guys are really into hemp seed, but I have found I like borage a lot more. And so I'm probably going to just switch to where that's my main blend, and that's just what we're going to use from here on out. And then if you want bird oils, you can just, for a little extra fee, you can add it by clicking a button.
Romy, I'm the same way. I don't strip my beard at all. I agree.
I've been doing it less and less lately.
So, Scott, do you have a
Yeah.
slideshow? Let's kind of get into your products a little bit closer.
All right.
And I've been fortunate enough to try some myself. I wish I had tried it sooner. Because Brad was kind of telling me about it back in October. I remember I was actually driving through Iowa when he messaged me and said, "Hey, you
Oh, no
should get
kidding.
Acreage, Iowa on the Bearded Respect." And I was like, "Hey, I'm in Iowa."
Oh, that's funny.
I was like on the western edge of Iowa though, and I don't think you're anywhere close to there.
Oh, we're in Western
Oh.
Iowa.
Oh, okay.
We're near the Avoca. We're off of I-80.
Oh,
We're
okay.
about 40 minutes from Omaha.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
Yep.
I was on, I don't know, I was driving that up to Minnesota. So the main highway there to go up to Minnesota from Iowa.
I think that's 30. I think that's 35.
35, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I-35. So which ones have you tried? I'm curious now.
So I have tried the Barber, which I'm wearing today, the Ranch Hand, the Gentleman, and Jack O'Frost.
Mm.
So Jack O'Frost is the non-bird, I believe.
Yep, that would be limited.
Yep. And then I have your beard butter and your other beard butter. So liquid, the tube, and then the canister.
Okay. Yeah, you have my first 2 cents, the Gentleman and the Barber. That was my first two ever.
Okay.
Those are my babies.
Love them both. Really
I do
good.
too. The Barber is, I'm a huge barbershop guy.
Yeah, me too.
I people, sometimes are like, I'm just so sick of barbershop. I'm like, I can't get enough of it personally. I wear barbershop more than any other scent. And so to make my own was a really fun experience. It was kind of nice that I had tried so many companies before, because it's like, okay, I know what not to make. Basically every scent that I approach is that way. But when I first started, it was like, okay, I got to be really careful here, because I don't want to make things that people have used before.
Right.
And I had I was fortunate enough to try a lot of products for a couple of years before I started making my own. So anytime I'd make something, I'm like, you know what, that kind of smells like this, I would just discard it. It's like, I got to start over from scratch, because that's just too similar to something I've already smelled before. And so the Barber was challenging because there's so many out there. And so I played around with that one for a long time. Same with the Gentleman. The Gentleman, the way it started was like a tobacco and oud scent, and now it's not even close to that.
Yeah.
It went from tobacco and oud to now it's this nice teakwood barbershop cologne. I mean, it just nothing like what I originally intended for that one to be. So yeah, those two are my babies. I love how the Barber turned out. It's been a big hit. That and the Gentleman are still probably the best sellers of the main line.
Nice.
Oh. So here we have your beard oils. I believe they're $21.99 for a 1 ounce. I don't have your limited blend here, but I have your Homestead blend, which is a pomegranate seed oil, meadow foam seed oil, Abyssinian seed oil, hemp seed oil, babassu oil, golden jojoba oil, castor oil, avocado oil, and vitamin E. And then your Acreage blend is 40% emu and ostrich, plus the Homestead blend. correct?
Yeah, and the only difference with the limited blend is take that hemp seed out and put borage. That's the
Okay.
limited. That's my personal favorite. I use that one more than anything. I just really like how borage works for me personally. But yeah, I mean, I love all those. The Babasu is honestly a game changing oil. That's one that I added pretty late in my blend. It's honestly that and pomegranate is what I was missing for the longest time. I had all these other ones that I was working with, and I started doing a little bit more reading, and I started seeing this stuff about the Babasu and the pomegranate. I was like, gosh, I think I'd be stupid not to buy some of this and just try it, try to see if this would work in my blend. And that's when I had a breakthrough, was with those two. If I could only have two oils, it'd be those two, probably. I love
Very
them.
cool. And a lot of companies seem to be going to barrage oil, adding it to their blend. So
I can't
Mhm.
remember. So like the barber, for example, do you choose, like the customer can choose between the blends, the Homestead blend or the Acreage blend?
Currently, yes, that's how
Okay.
yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have two options in the drop down menu. You can buy the
Gotcha.
Homestead or you can click the Acreage blend.
Okay.
I think the Homestead blend is actually $19.99 and then the Acreage blend's $21.99. The same
Okay.
price as the limited. And so that's the options right now. But the plan is just to make one base oil this year by the end of this year. Um, we have a lot of labels that we still want to use up with the current blend, and I want to get through this hemp seed. I don't want it to go to waste. But the plan by next year is to have the limited blend just be our main blend. And then if you want, you can do the acreage blend, which will just be a slight premium just to add that bird oil. But yeah, it when we first started it was a lot easier to manage, but now it's like these labels have Homestead, these labels have Limited, and we're going back and forth. And
Right.
we, like I said, we weren't expecting the business to do as well as it did, and so it, in our minds, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, this won't be that hard, and so now it just gets to the point where it's like, we get to making stuff and we make 10 limited blends, and all of a sudden the Acreage blend pops up or a Homestead blend pops up, and we got to switch everything around. And
Yeah.
so that's just one of the things we're doing to try to make ourselves more efficient and just streamline things. Plus for me, it's like, why would I keep selling a blend that I don't think is uh, as good as what we could sell? And I think the limited blend is by far our best blends, and so I plan on just making that our main blend.
Is there a way to see
Um,
which scents are available in the Acreage?
Currently, no, but that's why we're doing this. We want to switch it to where everything's the same blend, and then you just have a little button that you can click if you want to add bird oils. Pretty soon, that's just going to be available for everything. We're just trying to make it more simple. And we know right now it's a little confusing. But like I said, we're trying to get through the labels that we have. We want to get through this hemp seed that we have, and redesigning labels is a lot of work. Since I do doing it all myself, and so eventually it will be all new labeling. It'll just be our base blend with the borage, and then if you want bird oils, you can just add it. And honestly, if anyone ever wants bird oils, they can message me. I do it for people. They can just they just ask me, hey, can you put some bird oils? And I do. It's not a big deal, but
That's nice that you have that option. Because a lot of companies that had bird oils are getting away from it. And I've grown to love bird oils. And so it's nice that you do have that option for now.
Yeah. I didn't want to completely write it off, but I did notice that right around the time we opened, like people all of a sudden were like, yeah, we're not doing bird
Yeah.
oil. I'm like, oh, that's kind of strange. I mean, I
Yeah.
think they're great. I don't think there's anything wrong with them.
Mhm.
I like a lighter weight oil personally, and when I started playing around with these oils, I just found that I preferred the Homestead blend. I just really liked what it did for my beard, especially when I added the borage. Um, and so, like I said, I still have a few that I put bird oils in every once in a while just to get that deeper conditioning. And yeah, so and to segue with that, to answer that question, um, the feel, I would say the biggest difference is just that conditioning factor. The bird oils do, I think, penetrate the skin a little bit more, just because the fats of the emu and ostrich oils are so similar to ours. And so it's kind of like adding your own oil back to your skin.
Mhm.
And so I would say you probably would get a slightly deeper conditioning aspect. It's a slightly more I'd say the viscosity is a little bit thicker. And so it does, for me, it hangs in my beard a little bit longer. So you do get some moisture over time with it. Some people, that's all they can use. Some people, they don't use it at all. But yeah, I would say in terms of scent, I wouldn't say there's a difference.
Mhm.
I think both hold on to their fragrance pretty well. Styling, I think both give your beard a nice shine personally, especially if you're using the borage. That Babasu is in everything I make, which to me is like the miracle oil. Um, that is yeah, it's my favorite one. And so there's days where I will actually just put just straight Babasu in my beard because I love it so much. Um, so in terms of styling, no, I mean I would say both give you a pretty good shine. I think both condition well. I think they both help with frizz very, very well. And detangling. I mean, I think those benefits are all in. I think the only difference would be that conditioning factor.
Mhm. My personal experience with bird oil is it just helps with a more fuller beard appearance. Like it kind of adds volume to it for me. And I don't know if that's, just because of the hair that I have or or a lot of people do kind of have that happen too.
Yep. And that's how I am with the Babasu.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brad was asking if you're going to be adding squalene to the mix, possibly.
So I am playing around with a new blend that is called Silver Fox. You guys probably know where I'm getting at with that. I had a request probably back, I don't know, probably last fall. A couple of our customers asked, some of them have issues, obviously, with the more yellow colored oil. I try to use nothing but unrefined oils personally. Um, and so someone requested that I make something that is clear and very castor oil heavy for guys with gray beards. And so I'm actually working on a blend now that is for that specifically. It's almost the other side. It's almost completely clear. It has just a little bit of tint to it because, like I said, I use unrefined oils, and so even you know most of them have some sort of tint, but this has the squalene oil in it. Um, right now, I've got that castor, metafoam, and Abyssinian. I think that's what's in there right now. It's going to be a pretty bare bones blend, but it's going to do the job. Everything that I've talked to from some of the, dare I say, older gentlemen or just gray beards, a lot of them tell me that they just want a castor heavy blend because castor oil just works so great for their beards. And so I'm trying to do something based around castor oil and that squalene because they're both clear. They're both pretty much clear, and they both are a nice thick oil that, and for me personally, with the wiry beard, my beard loves castor too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm playing around with that for this one. This one's just going to be an unscented one for for the guys who have those gray beards. They want to use Acreage products, but the more amber colored oils just don't work for them. And yeah, we do have a the Simple Man is our unscented, and I don't know why, but I have beard butter labels for it, but I don't, and I have hair elixir labels, but not beard oil labels. Don't ask why. I have horrible ADHD, so. But yes, if you want something unscented, absolutely ask us. We can make something for you. But the plan is to get those made up. Yeah, not a problem.
And yes, Perez, Jason text us his pole dancing class has run over. We're not getting the moves right. So he may not make it. But yeah, and John Fox is actually a silver fox. He is the oldest member in the beard community, the oldest person in the beard community.
And he's a fox.
He's a fox.
Yes, Jason wanted me to apologize to our guest and to the chat, saying he probably wasn't going to make it tonight.
Don't even sweat it. I had to. Hey, just tell him it's fine. I had to cancel on you guys, so
yeah, he's normally always here. So
yeah, it's
life happens.
Yep, I know that all too well.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, life was happening big time.
Yeah.
It was that was an interesting week, to say the least.
John Fox says he's not that old.
I know, John. I'm just teasing.
And Kev, thanks for the super chat. Appreciate it.
Kev, that means I get some of it?
I guess so, but Jason doesn't.
Yeah, nice. For once. Appreciate that, Kev. So, which ones are mainline scents?
So I tried to make it as basically, if you look at like even in that picture, anything with that hunter green band and the nice hunter green ribbon on the top, those are our main lines. Those are ones that are always on our sites. If it differs from that main look, so like
blue.
That's a bad example.
Here's a blue one.
Yeah, so like that one, Opulence was that nice like golden brown. Tuxedo was black. I try to make the limited releases look completely different, just with the colors. And I also tend to use different colored bottles a lot of times, like brown or black or white for the limited stuff. Well, here's a good one. The purple bands I thought turned out really nice. But yeah, anything with that classic green look to it, that's our main line. The plan is to work on the website, get it more cleaned up, have a actual section that is mainline. It's just like I said, we're honestly just trying to keep up with the growth right now, and so a lot of that stuff is just kind of getting pushed to the back right now, because like I had planned out this whole year scent wise already, and so like I'm trying to get everything lined up scent wise, label wise, so that basically all we have to do is this other background work. And then when drops happen, all we have to do is just fill stuff and go. So yeah, so right now we've got I think 6 or 7 main lines, and they're all that green band. And if you notice, some of the original main lines don't have a scent description. That was something that got requested shortly after we opened. And so 2 of the main lines currently have, so the Duke has a scent description and Iowish has a scent description, but I'm going to be remaking all the older labels so that everything has a scent description now. That was one of the biggest requests early on.
I do recall that on the website. Even it doesn't really kind of talk about that.
Yeah, so we're trying to make that information more accessible for people, so that we want to make it as easy as possible when you're shopping with us and give you all that information.
Brad wanted to know if you're making the aficionado mainline.
I don't know. Right now it basically is a main line. It's been on our website now for months. It's sold out 5 times. I'm getting ready to restock it a 6th time. It's by far, we sold out in an hour the first time, and then I put up pre-orders for round 2 and it sold out in 2 hours, and then we've restocked it 3 more times after that, and every single time it's sold out. So there's a very good chance. I'm actually going to leave it to a vote at the end of the year. Our plan was to always have 10 mainline scents, and so at the end of this year, it's going to be kind of a community effort of, okay, you guys vote, you guys tell us what you want, and we'll just kind of put it into like a bracket style tournament where scents, are constantly getting eliminated until we come down to the final 3. So I'm going to kind of put that into the customer's hands, because it's just too hard to pick main lines. At least 3-4 people ask for something to be mainline every release. But I will say aficionado has been the most requested, so I'm sure that one will make the cut.
Your brother says sounds like mainline to me.
Yeah, it has far surpassed any of our other releases by far. It was crazy. Having a sell out in an hour just blew my mind. It's like, sheesh. Yes. If you go to the bottom of our website, there are some like blogs. So there's something that talks about my recipe for the beard oils. And then I think right next to it, we have a scent profile page. We try to keep that as up to date as possible with the releases that we drop. But for the most part, everything we've released, I think, is mostly on there right now. I'm trying to find a better way to put it into the home menu. But right now, that's how we figured out how to get it onto the website. So right now, it's just a little blog at the bottom of the home page.
Very interesting. And now when I was looking at your butters, it looked like you only have them available in certain scents.
So in my mind, the way the butters, so there's a beard butter section, and I always tell people whatever is in that beard butter link, that's our main line. And so eventually that's just going to be our main line menu. But right now, this is where the early I don't know, not mistakes, but just the little speed bumps that we hit early on are now starting to show more because more people are hitting it. And that's another one that we're going to work on. Because now, if you look at all of our releases moving forward, it just has a butter, an oil, and a parfum.
Yeah.
We're gonna eventually get it to where just all the mainline stuff are in one area. You can choose butters, you can choose oils, you can choose parfums, and then you've got the option of either the squeeze butter or the tin butters. And then limited, they'll just be their own links. So that way it's less confusing. But in my mind, originally the butters were going to kind of be their own thing. I actually wasn't even sure if I was going to do scented butters when I first opened. So when I first made that icon, that's all we were going to sell was Simple Man. That's because again, I was not expecting to do as well as we have. And so originally it's like, you know what, I'll just butters were kind of they were kind of in limbo when we opened. A lot of the chat was, I just don't really use butters anymore. There's just so many good oils out here that I just don't find myself using butters anymore. And so I was like, I really don't know if we need butter. But I want to have at least an unscented so that people have something. And so so that single link, which was our unscented butter, has now morphed into our mainline scented butters. And yeah, it's just something that needs cleaned up as well. But yeah, we didn't even have labels for mainline butters until like 3 weeks ago. I didn't even have them designed because like I said, when we first opened, we just weren't sure if we were going to even really be selling butters. And now butters are one of our most talked about items. So now we're making sure we do labels and get that all made up and done up right. So
Okay, so you have whipped hand ported squeeze butter for $22.99 for a 2 ounce. Whipped is only offered part times of the years for melting issues, correct?
Yep. So now it's all switched to poured. We just do a straight pour right now. During the winter, we can do the whipped, just because it's obviously the temperatures are more appropriate. But now if we whip it, you would get a melted butter.
Yeah.
So it's a waste of my time and your time. So now this is, I think Opulence was our last, that nice whipped, creamy texture. And then now we've completely switched to the just straight poured. Or you can do the squeeze, which during the summertime is honestly a really good option because I don't really call mine a liquid. It's not a liquid butter. It's just a soft butter. And so that's why I called it a squeeze butter, because it's like, this isn't really liquid. It's liquid when it gets to you, but it doesn't stay that way. And so I just started calling it my squeeze butter.
So is there some ingredients in the squeeze butter or is there some ingredients in the poured butter that's not in the squeeze butter? I guess I should say. Like,
not really.
It's
It's basically all I've done is I've just I took the original formula of my butter and I just tweaked the ratios of certain oils so that the ingredients were the same. But I just move around the amount of butter that I'm using in it. Basically the butter to oil ratio, you just kind of flip. And so you have a higher oil content in the squeeze and you have a higher butter content in the tins. So, but yeah, I wanted to make sure that the ingredients were the same, so that way, no matter which one you use, you're getting the same result. Because a lot of times you'll buy a tin butter from a place, and then you'll buy a liquid butter, and it's nothing alike.
Right.
And it doesn't perform anything like the butter that you, already find that you like. So I played around with the squeeze butter a long time trying to get it to where I could still use the same ingredients, and that's where that Babasoot came in. It works so well for stabilizing butters, and so that's that's what allowed me to make the squeeze butters, was the increase in Babasoot. So I love it. I like the squeeze butters. I think they're good. They're fun. They're nice to have on hand.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always a a nice traveling option too. For me, it's just real easy to use when you're on the go and stuff.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
I take a bag to work and I always have one in there.
Yep. Anytime we travel, I have one of each, and I pretty much always find myself using the squeeze butter. Like if we stay at a hotel, I'll find that I use the tin butter. But you know, you're in the car and you just need a quick touch up. You pull out the squeeze butter real quick, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, you're not messing with opening the litter. It's just a convenient option. So I like it a lot too. And for my beard personally, it soaks it right up. It loves it. It likes the high oil content. You get that little bit of benefits from the 3 different butters. And the kokum actually has kind of a waxy feel to it. The whole idea for the butter was I don't like wax butters. And it's not because there's anything wrong with them. It's just personally, I'm just not a fan. And so I wanted to make a completely waxless butter, but I still wanted to kind of give it a little bit of that grip that a wax butter has. And so that's where the kokum comes in. It's got a little bit of a hold to it. So yeah, I like the combination of the 3 different butters very, very much. And then if you notice the broccoli seed, we did add broccoli seed to the butters too.
Yeah.
Which is
we've
really,
got
really good stuff.
shea butter, mango butter, kokum butter, hemp seed oil, pomegranate seed oil, meadow foam seed oil, jojoba oil, avocado oil, babasu oil, broccoli seed oil, castor oil, and vitamin E.
Yeah, and so when I first was coming out with the butters, I wanted to add something that would give it a little bit more of a nourishing, a little bit more of a conditioning factor with the oils, and then also something that's going to help with frizz and detangling, and that's where the broccoli seed comes in. I didn't want it to just be a straight mimic of the Homestead blend, because if people are using the Homestead blend already, it's like, okay, what can I put in here that's gonna add to their beard routine? And so that's why we added that broccoli seed in there. It just is one more step of conditioning and helps so much with your hair, with the shine, with your comb coming through. No, I don't plan on doing anything liquid. I personally don't think I think people would be pretty upset if I switched it. So I wouldn't switch it, and I think it would be silly to come out with it now because the squeeze butters honestly do so well. And I've had a lot of people tell me they prefer the texture over liquid. And so I'll probably just
So no one's come out with the spray butter yet, just saying.
Actually, I haven't come out with one, but I decided one day to take one of my cologne bottles and just put some oil in it to see if I could spritz my beard with it. And so I have done that.
So Brad has asked this twice now. How's your balm progressing? And I know you just said you're not much of a wax person.
Next question. No, it's honestly, it's actually coming along pretty well. Now that I wanted to make sure that my base butter recipe was more heat stable, because last year we got a lot of, like, when we would ship it out, it was in perfect shape, and then it would melt. Then our customers would get it, and then it would get super grainy. And I just wasn't happy about that. I know it doesn't change the performance, but for me, just from a perfectionist standpoint, it's like, no, I want it to always look the same before and after it melts. Like, I just want you to be able to pop it in the fridge. So I wanted to make sure that I had that recipe locked in, which I actually just spent the last few weeks working on. So now everything is poured. Everything's a lot more heat stable. I've hardly noticed any issues with graininess. And so I wanted to have that down before I started messing with the balms and adding another ingredient to it. And so I have started playing around with adding some beeswax and some conditioning wax to my current butter. And so far they've turned out pretty good. But I'm just trying to decide where I want to go with it because I'm kind of calling it a hybrid butter balm. Like it's going to be something that conditions on top of helping with styling. And so I'm trying to decide. That's why I'm playing around with some of these other oils right now. I want to try to incorporate that marula oil and the squalene because those are really good thick oils that I think would be good for a balm. That would give it some really nice slip, and then on top of it, it would be really conditioning. So, yeah, that's kind of the plan. I'm hoping that I get to them soon, but I've been so deep in making my deodorant recipe the last few weeks that
Ooh,
I haven't really gotten to balms.
deodorant.
Yes, yeah, I'm working on deodorants, and I'm really I'm very, very close to releasing those. I've been very happy with them.
Is your whipped butter Indiana Jones villain, or my girlfriend won't let me hang out anymore? I don't even know what you mean.
How whipped is the butter? It's I would say probably more Indiana Jones villain.
Okay.
Because I kind of do it in a interesting way. So a lot of whipped butters, like if you notice, mine actually almost looks poured. It's not super fluffy like a lot of people's whipped butters. And that's because I do a double whip process that actually helps reduce the air in it, and it actually turns it more into a lotion like consistency. So basically I whip it really good, I get it nice and fluffy, and then I do something that actually takes a lot of that air out, a lot of that volume out. For one, because that just, to me, it's unnecessary wasted space. You're paying for a 2-ounce butter. If it's just all fluff, it's you're not getting nearly. And I didn't want to mess around with 4-ounce tins and doing all that. So I it's almost like a churned butter, I guess, is how you could call it. And so it literally feels like the consistency of like a, if you were to buy some country crock butter, and that to me is what it feels like. It kind of looks like it too. But yeah, it's been really popular. People have loved it. It melts beautifully. It absorbs really nicely. And it's fun to make for people. People have really enjoyed it. But I'm honestly kind of glad that I'm getting a break from them because they're so much more. They're way more work than just pouring them into a tin.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice that they're seasonal. It gives me a break. Thanks.
Tyler here says it's the best whipped butter in the business.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I really like it, and I mean I think it speaks for itself with how we get a lot of compliments on it, and people were pretty bummed that we announced we were stopping them for the next few months, but there's just nothing we can do. I mean, the only thing I can do is start adding things to it that people don't want in their beard products, and so it's just going to be a seasonal thing.
A lot of the companies that offer whipped butter, they do the same thing, only make it for part of the year.
Mm-hmm. I would love to be able to always do them, but yeah, it just isn't realistic.
Yeah, companies can still do it, but it just ain't gonna make it to you like you expect it.
Yeah, I had a guy the other day who was like, "Can you please make my butter whipped?" And I was like, "I can," but I was like, "It's probably gonna melt." He's like, "I don't care. It's worth the try." I was like, "All right." It's like, as long as you know up front that it's probably not gonna be whipped when you get it, then I guess I'll do it. So I did it, but I'm pretty sure he was in Florida, so I was like, I don't think it's gonna make it. But I also think that the tin, just the straight poured butters, they're silky smooth. If anybody has seen our Instagram or check or is in our group on Facebook, I did a little demonstration of it. I mean, it is just silky smooth. It turned out really nice. So I think anybody who likes the whip butter will be happy with the new formula that I just released. Same ingredients. I just tweaked some of the ingredients a little bit with the numbers. Got it more shelf or more heat stable.
Supposedly Mike puts his bomb in the KitchenAid mixer.
I don't know why he said that.
I,
I'm a huge balm
in the
fan, though.
mixer.
I wear balm every day. So I'll be excited to try yours if it comes out.
Yeah, it will. There's a good chance it'll just probably be an unscented. It'll
That's
probably
fine,
just
yeah.
it's probably just going to be its own, kind of like how my beard butter was supposed to be. There's only been a few guys who really want it, and so I want to kind of just make sure that it has traction before I just start making scents in them. But it'll
Yeah.
start out as an unscented product just for the guys who they want the Acreage ingredients for their balm, and then you can just add your scent to it, whatever you want. But yep, the plan is to have one released, kind of that hybrid butter balm. It'll be like a conditioning balm. That's kind of how in my mind I'm trying to do it. Not super heavy hold, but it will help tame it, but still nourish.
Yeah, back in the day when, before companies had butter, I mean, it was basically just oil and balm. And I insisted, like, I wanted balm with scent, like the same scent as the oil. Now I'm at the point where I'm just happy if a company has balm.
Yeah.
Now I'm okay with the unscented balm. I'm like, okay, I'll take it.
Actually,
Yeah, it gets to be a lot, especially when you're doing limited stuff, and
Yeah.
it's like where do you draw the
Now,
line?
your products though, like I don't think the butter or the balm would have to be scented because the oil scent is strong. Like it's amazingly strong.
Yeah. It worked out. I mean, when I first my first blend, I could barely smell the oils. I mean, it took a lot of playing around and tweaking, what goes where, and eventually it. I mean, my goal was always to have a medium strength oil that kind of worked for everybody, but a lot of the feedback I get is that it lasts all day, and so that's always good to hear. I mean, obviously you want the product to have some longevity, but I try to make it to where it's not like you fill a room. Just something that's going to stick with you all day and make you smell nice. But yeah, I pretty much only use unscented butter at night. And then if I want some scent, I just do a few drops, and it always works for me. So yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too, was just I'll probably just do an unscented balm and just see how it goes for a while, because I know the guys who are wanting it already have Acreage oils, and so they'll be able to just add their whatever scent they want to it. So that's kind of the plan right now.
Yeah, for me lately, if I use balm, it's pretty much been unscented recently.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and in the way I've made my butters, I've got them almost to the point where they're truly unscented. Like you don't smell much. Like you get a little bit of a nutty, especially my whipped butters. Like those even more so. Like they just don't have much of a nutty smell to them, and or an oily smell. So it's kind of nice. Like you really can use it with anything, and even if you don't want any scent, like you're not really gonna smell anything when you put it in. So I'm hoping the balm will turn out the same way.
Yeah. Now here, I think is what everyone else was waiting for, the scent profiles. Some of these we went over already, but the barber is fresh cut from your favorite barber shop with notes of talc, bay rum, lemon, sandalwood, and musk. The gentleman is teak wood, bergamot, talc, cinnamon leaf, black pepper, tonka bean, cedarwood, and musk. Um, Lakesman, which is teak wood, driftwood, sea salt, amber, and aquatic cologne. The ranch hand is smoked cedar, smoked leather, vanilla, hickory, and suede. Um, Schwanzman is basically made to be a creamsicle.
Yep.
Orange and vanilla with amber and sandalwood and oud. I Wish, which is mahogany and teak wood with notes of aquatic sea notes and amber. The Duke, which is sweet tobacco, amber, oud, cashmere, and cedar. A lot of these sound amazing.
Now, I don't know if you still have this one available, the Jacko Frost, but this is pipe tobacco and cool mint, bay leaf. And
Yeah,
palm.
we actually decided to throw our fall and winter stuff back up because we've picked up so many new customers since Black Friday who missed some of last year's releases, and we still had labels and fragrance left. And so we actually wife and I talked about it, and we were like, you know what? Let's just throw them back up because those guys, they're trying to search the groups for them. They're not finding. It's like, let's just throw them back up and, use up what we have and, yeah, go from there. And so some of the guys have gotten to try some of our older profiles from last fall, and I think Jacko Frost is still up there right now, but we'll probably start phasing those out now that it's springtime for good.
Okay, and we got Irish Spring, which has notes of oak moss, sandalwood, Irish Spring, amber, bergamot, and bay leaf. I think I copied that.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did the gentleman.
Opulence, which is fine leather, honey, amber, dried fruits, and smoked cherries. Using opulence feels like sipping on cherry bourbon smash while sitting in your favorite leather chair. And I believe I read that one actually has a carrier of a carrot seed added to it.
Yep. I thought that would be a fun one just because. So that was a collaboration with Dan, with Dan's Beard Reviews.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it would be fun since we were kind of going with that opulence theme, that high class kind of gold look. We did gold tins, and so I thought the carrot, like for carrots of gold, would be a fun way to just add to that theme. Plus, carrot seed is like a super oil. I mean, it's just packed full of so much good stuff, full of antioxidants, full of vitamins, and just really good stuff. And so, yeah, you'll notice opulence has a slightly more orange look to it in both the oil and the butter. Like it just has slightly more yellowish orangish tint to it. But yeah, opulence has one oil and butter left, and then it's gone.
Wow. And then we have Lucky Ombre, which is bergamot, vetiver, cashmere, leather, cedar, and plum. Commodore, which is a blend of exotic oud, citrus, woods, and musk. Tuxedo, which is a bold scent of black pepper, cardamom, birch, bergamot, and grapefruit. And Old Greg, which is a scaly man, fish himself, green aquatic, sent to go with the swamp theme and his bog, with notes of Palo Santo, patchouli, and Old Spice, citrusy fierce cologne, Irish Spring, and cannabis, amber, oak moss, and sandalwood.
probably one of my most crazy profiles I've ever done. I went all out for old Greg.
And we had a guy in here earlier who said he was old Greg.
I'm old Greg. Have you guys seen the skit? Do you know what old Greg is?
Not exactly. No.
You'll have to look it up afterwards. Just look up old Greg on YouTube. It's by the Mighty Boosh, and it's just this old skit from a British television show, and it's about a character named Old Greg that lives in a swamp.
Interesting.
So that's what that was inspired by.
And there are other scents on your website, a lot of limiteds and other stuff. You're more than welcome to go and check them out. Definitely, you offer plenty of stuff.
Yeah, and right now, like I said, it's pretty cluttered right now because we brought back the out of season stuff, but we're gonna start getting those taken down and cleaning it up and getting it back to where we want it. But we wanted to give a few weeks where customers could our newer customers could try some of the stuff they didn't get a chance to try with fall and Christmas. So what is the scent that gets the most repeated customers? Same person buying the same oil. Let's see. Secret Santa has been huge. That's been one of our best sellers. We've had people come back for that multiple times already. The One Who Knocks, which was a blueberry tobacco. That one, that's another one that people are asking for mainline as well. It's funny, all of the ones requested are almost all tobacco scents. Just have a main line of different scents of tobacco. That one has I know Ryan, who was in here. I don't know if he's still in here, but he said he's gone through 3 bottles of it already. He just asked me to make another butter for him because he's almost out of his butters too. So, and then I would say Gentleman and the Barber. Those are kind of a lot of people's ride or dies. Lakesman, High Roller was a big one for a while. I don't know if that one's coming back again, but that one was one that we released a few times and people came back for it every time we released it. So that one always did really well, that's an inspiration of one of my favorite colognes, which is 1 Million Lucky. So that one turned out really good. But yeah, I'd say those are probably the main ones right now.
Okay, and there's one thing I forgot to put in this presentation was your parfum. Did you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I mean, it's just it's our beard scents, but in a 1 ounce spray bottle. We do a parfum grade and EDP. So we try to maximize the amount of scent we can use in our parfums, so that customers are getting their money's worth. A lot of time colognes are like heavily diluted, and so we don't hold back on our fragrance load with the parfums. You'll get easily 10-12 hours out of them. I mean, sometimes you'll still smell them into the next day. Not that they're like overpowering, but they just carry for a long time. Some of them project pretty well. Like this Mad Barber, my son sprays this sometimes and I can smell them from across the room. I just smell Fruit Loops and barbershop. But that's another one. A lot of people, when we re-released our fall stuff, came back for Mad Barber. We get a lot of compliments for that one, just for being such a unique take on barbershop. So, yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty much everything we've released, I think, other than Opulence, has had a spray to go with it. And then I had mentioned earlier, we are working on deodorants. And I'm working on making 4 or 5 scents that kind of just go along with it. It's like all of my favorite releases so far, taking elements of those and incorporating them into the deodorants. Like I'm not going to just do a gentleman, a duke, I like it's gonna. I'm trying to make them to where people can wear one, but it works with multiple scents. Like it's something that's gonna, anything that we have that's aquatic, this is gonna go with it. Anything that's you know, fresh or spicy, you'll have one for that. Anything barbershop that you own, you'll have a barbershop. I've got a vanilla teakwood and musk. That's been my favorite one so far. That'll mix really well with the gentleman, Iowish, Lakesman. I mean, anything that's sweet or woodsy, this will go great with it. And then I've got a vanilla, cedar, and pink pepper. That's another one I'm working on. That one's really nice. That's actually based off of one of my upcoming releases, which is called The Wanderer. That's going to be our next drop with the Legend. So I'm really excited about those. But yeah, so deodorants I have been testing those for weeks now. I've gone through probably 50 different versions of it already, and I think I finally found the one that wife and I are both really happy with them. So I'm hoping to have those either during summer or by
Nice.
fall. That's kind of the plan right now. Obviously, no aluminum. They'll be aluminum free. They're baking soda free. Everything in it is plant derived. We do use fragrances, but it's like a 2-3% load. So I mean, it's about as natural as you can get.
Here's something you don't see too often on a company site.
Yeah. Funny enough, that's like that I've got that right here. Honestly, that product, I might be as proud, if not more proud of that product than I am my beard stuff.
Really?
Yeah, if you own anything leather,
I almost bought it actually.
It literally is a miracle worker if you own anything leather. It'll restore old dried out boots, couches, chairs. We use it on our kitchen table actually. You can use it on cutting boards, everything in it. We tried to do food grade. And so you've got beef tallow, shea, beeswax, and avocado oil. And so pretty much we've conditioned our cutting boards with it. Our couch, our boots. My son had a pair of boots that were literally turning white. They were so dried out. And they look brand new now. They just came right back to life. The beeswax give them a slight waterproofer, so if you put it on at the beginning of every week, you'll get some pretty good waterproofing from it. So yeah, it's got that little bit of lemon essential oil for freshness, but also the lemon actually helps clean it too. As you're rubbing it onto your boots, the lemon actually will help kind of clean them up too. So same with your furniture.
All right, I'm gonna pick some up. You sold me.
Yeah, people kind of sleep on that one. Like I don't push it super hard, but I mean, I had so much fun. I had so much fun making that and coming up with it, and that's just something we need all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and then we do have merch. We sold quite a few of these. I always tell people they're probably the most comfy hat you could buy. They're like pre-broken in. They're like distressed.
You broke every one of them in.
Yep, all by hand. I have a special mallet just for it. No, it's great. Like that's just you buy them as is from the vendor, and they're just right out of the box. They're super comfortable, and they're great work hats. I wear them throughout the summer. I wear them when I'm mowing, and yeah, they're good.
And this
Yeah,
must be your wife's work.
Yep. So the string project is her business. Everything she does is handmade by her.
Wow.
She makes quilts. Those are her hot pads. What's funny is this whole thing started, those soap bags that you first looked at. That was the first item that we ever sold, and we just sold them on beer groups and
Oh, yeah.
soap groups. We just were like, hey, we made these soap bags, and they did really well. People started buying them. And that's when me and my wife were like, what if what we started talking about, well, what if we made soap? What if we made soap and sold them with the soap bags? And then we ended up landing on beard oils. But I am planning on making some bar soaps, nothing crazy, but I'm going to have a couple scents of bar soaps. I'm going to have one that's like a detox bar with charcoal powder that's pine scented. And then we're going to have an unscented bar and then probably one other one, just because we've had a lot of people request soap, especially because we do sell soap bags. And I love handcraft soap. I have quite a collection of that too. So I am starting to dabble in that as well. So my hope is that by end of this year or early next year, we'll be able to start putting a couple of those scents up on the website. And then we have the candles too, which have been very popular. Oh goodness. Oh, I didn't breathe. That's like the only thing I didn't put on my desk was it's my rusty black and yellow from Strakowski. It's made in Poland. That's by far been my favorite. I actually just ordered a summer version of it because the one that I have is Harris tweed. And so it's a heavy wool cap. So obviously I'm not going to wear that during the summer, but I just ordered a summer version because it's been my go-to hat most of the winter. So Strakowski has kind of been my favorite hat maker, and they still make everything by hand in Poland, which is really cool. I mean, it's like small batch owners that make caps, and they're just, you can feel it when you buy one. Every time you get one, it feels like you're going back in time, and you're getting a cap from somebody, back in the day. It's pretty fun. And the thing with Secret Santa too is every year Secret Santa is going to be a new scent. So it's always going to be Secret Santa, but every year it's going to be a secret. So this was the only scent that we ever sold that we didn't give the scent profile on. You had to buy it to know what it was, just to kind of make it fun, like a little gift to yourself. And it ended up being a hit. People loved it. People loved the idea. And so we're just going to keep that going. And this coming Christmas, we'll have a new scent for it. Yeah, I need to update the dropper pictures too, because we've switched from the Euro cap. I love the Euro caps personally, but I had so many customers who were like, I can't put my pump tops on the Euro rounds, and I was like, you know what? I'm so tired of getting this complaint. I'm just going to switch. At this point, I might as well. So like all of the ones that I make for myself, I still use the Euro because I love these droppers. These droppers are by far my favorite. They get a full pull every time.
Yeah.
In one pull. So I really like them, and they have a tamper-proof seal. That's actually why I went with these. I liked that feeling of cracking it open the very first time.
Yeah.
But people couldn't put their pump tops or their restrictors in them. So I was like, all right, I'll make the change. Get with the times, I guess.
Oh yeah.
I don't personally like pump tops. I will use restrictors, but I prefer the dropper.
Yeah.
That's what I like. I like being able to control the dropper myself.
Yeah.
Well, anyone in the chat have any more questions?
And Brad says your Christmas scent profiles are awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, they were fun to make. I had a good time doing those because a lot of it was just based off of like childhood memories. Just trying to incorporate things that I remember from my own Christmases as a kid. And so I really tried to it was just fun. I kind of got to go down memory lane, and as I smelled things, it was like, oh man, it just was like unlocking memories. And I actually made my Christmas profiles way like, I think I made them around the same time I made my fall ones because I was so excited to make them. And so I sat on those for months, just waiting to release them. Man, these are so, I can't wait. That Secret Santa was one that I wanted to release so bad, but yeah, that's why we ended up picking it for the Secret Santa one, because like, I have no doubt people are gonna love this. Blueberry. One Who Knocks most likely will be coming back this fall. I don't think my customers would allow me to not bring that one back at least once. And we still have some labels for it, so I probably will do that. And then I also have one called Blue Crush that's going to come out this summer. That is a blueberry scent that is killer. It's a really nice, fresh blueberry. I think people are going to really like it. It reminds me of like if anybody had like the old Mountain Dews that were blue, that year they had the blue Mountain Dews.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like what that, like, you know how when you taste something you can, or when you smell something you can almost taste it. It reminds me of what those tasted like. The blue I think it was called Voltage or something, but
Yeah.
it's just got a nice like berry citrusy drink, just a nice summery profile that I'm really liking. So that one's going to be called Blue Crush. So that should, I know we have a couple blueberry fans, so that should hold you guys over until fall.
Not a blueberry fan.
Yeah, I feel like that's one that's pretty 50-50. You either love it or you hate it. I actually really like blueberry. It's one of the few fruity scents that I like.
Yeah.
I'm not a big cherry guy. I don't do a lot of cherry stuff. I know a lot of guys like cherry tobacco, but that's honestly one that I'm not a huge fan of. But I do like citrusy stuff. I use bergamot in a lot of my stuff because it blends so well with other things. And so, yeah, citrus is about my main thing fruit wise. And then blueberries one that I play around with too.
We actually did have a question about that earlier.
About what?
Strong citrusy scent.
Oh.
Tuxedo is like a spicy citrus cologne. That's a really good choice. That one has black pepper, grapefruit, bergamot, exotic amber, and cardamom and birch. So that has multiple citrus profiles in it. That's been a really popular release. I actually had quite a few people tell me that's been their favorite one so far. So that's always a good sign. This summer I have a pirate theme series. I'm doing 4 that's going to have some citrusy stuff in it. Definitely in the warmer months I have a lot of I love cologne, and so I do a lot of cologne type fragrances. I don't use cologne duplicates, but a lot of customers tell me that a lot of mine have a cologne vibe to them. So a lot of my stuff in the summertime will be probably more citrusy, and I've got some coconut stuff. I've got a coconut rum that just you'll want to drink it. It smells so good. It's pretty good.
Are you going to try EO only limited edition?
Try what?
Essential oil only.
Oh, yeah, I actually do plan on having just a small selection of completely natural organic beard oil. I actually just got my first couple essential oils that I am playing around with. I've got some neroli, bergamot, um, and then I've also got some. I got a couple other ones on the way. But yes, that is a plan in the books. I've had multiple people request that. They want some softer, just stuff that they can wear to bed. Just, people who are sensitive to fragrance. Just some of those things. So we're trying to make sure we meet, everybody's needs. It won't be extensive. It'll probably only be one or two to choose from. But for now, that at least gives people an option.
Yeah.
It'll probably just be our normal blend, but with essential oils. So that's in the books. I'm working on that as well.
And Antonio said blackberry is also good with masculine scents like barbershop tobacco and so on.
Yeah,
And
I've been
others.
trying to make a blackberry tobacco actually. I love blackberry and I love plum. I use plum in quite a few of my profiles too. And so I try to incorporate that into stuff as well. I thought blackberry tobacco would be a really fun one to do someday.
Yeah, I don't recall ever hearing that done.
Don't tell anybody.
So I posted the link to the Facebook group. You do have to take a test to join.
Yes. Bots are running wild. Bots are crazy. And even with the questionnaire, we still get bots getting in. It's crazy. I mean, simple questions, but yeah, you just get overrun so quick these days.
Yeah, if you're interested in what the Acreage is doing, that's definitely a good place to check.
Yep, and that's where we do a lot of our that's where we connect with our customers the most. I do some lives on there myself. I post pretty much every day, just kind of what's going on with just work wise, what we have. I'm always teasing stuff coming up. I've been talking about our deodorants for about 2 weeks now. And you sneak peeks, you get exclusive deals. I mean, kind of just everything that comes with when you're in a fan club per se. You get early access to stuff. You'll hear first. And it's a fun group. It's pretty active. I get good engagement with our customers, and it grew pretty quickly too. I mean, we're over 300 members, which for me, I'm more than happy with. Obviously we're looking to continue growing that, but yeah, it's been good.
Yeah. And I think that's everything from everybody. Want to thank Hayden for coming on. It's really been a great show. Learned a lot
I
about
appreciate I appreciate you guys having me on. I appreciate you guys for you who recommended me to you guys. I appreciate those customers. They've become good friends of ours as well. And yeah, I was looking forward to meeting you guys because I knew you guys were kind of tapped into kind of a whole other world of people that I really haven't even met yet. So I was excited for that. I'm hoping that we've actually had a few new customers ever since you guys announced us. So I've already had the pleasure of serving a couple people that have heard about us through you guys. So I'm definitely looking forward to meeting new people, serving new people. Double blackberry. Okay, well, never mind. Scratch that idea. But yeah, we're always looking to grow. Like I said, we're a small family owned company. We want to get our products into everybody's hands that we can. We're really just, we want to make people's skin healthier, their hair healthier, their homes smell better. Not that they smell bad, but I think we can always agree that candles will make things smell better. So, and if you have wives who love decor, my wife makes very, very nice, very nice handmade products. Her hand towels are her best seller. You hang them on your oven or you hang them on your fridge. She's just as involved in this company as I am. She does a lot. She's just not really on the front lines with very much of it. So huge shout out to her, because without her, this would be impossible. So.
Oh yeah, we definitely get that. There's a lot of couples, beard companies that help each other out with everything.
Yeah. And it's good when you can work with your spouse.
Yeah.
It's really good. Some people can't do it, but there's some days where we struggle, but for the most part, it's always been fun to work together. It's better than being a body for the city. I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
And Big Stu says the people that watch TBR on average smell better than everyone else.
Facts.
I can't disagree with the logic.
In this show, we never take any of our shows down. So you may get people who've seen it on just watching it for the first time that reach out to you. So
yeah,
no,
that's
could be
awesome.
In 50 years. It'd be in 2075. Someone will watch the show and look you up.
We'll have to reconvene in 50 years if we're all still around.
Well, there's 3 years worth of episodes up there. So.
I do have I think two plums. So, oh gosh, I'm trying to remember. I've made so many. We read one of them that said plum was in the.
Yeah.
Oh, Lucky Ombre. Lucky Ombre has plum, and I used it in High Roller as well. It's not plum heavy, but Lucky Ombre I think has got a decent amount. But yeah, I will use plum quite a bit. I really like plum. So yeah, I actually have one of our peppermint mocha candles going right now in front of me, so I get it. Yeah, exactly. If we're still trucking in 50 years, let's do it again.
Oh, what John Fox is doing in 2075.
He really would be the
oldest. He's a vampire, then he might be resting.
Yeah, he really would be the oldest at that point.
Well, thanks everyone for joining us tonight. Make sure to check out the Acreage if you haven't before. I'm really excited to try their products that are on the way, and
yeah, I look forward to hearing your thoughts on it. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and check us out again next Thursday for another great stream with another great company.
Awesome. Thank you guys. And thank you everybody who tuned in. Thank you.
Thanks. Respect the journey, y'all.